Welcome back to the TYSK report. This is MMC bringing you the things you should know happening in the world of technology. I got some great articles on the docket, so let's dive into them. In the first article, AI created virtual influencers are stealing business from humans. Interesting. It says here, pink-haired Atana Lopez is followed by more than 200,000 people on social media. She posts selfies from concerts in her bedroom while tagging brands such as hair care line Olaplex and lingerie giants Victoria's Secret. Brands have paid about $1,000 a post for her to promote their products on social media, despite the fact that she is entirely fictional. Their emergence has led to worry from human influencers their income is being cannibalized and under threat from digital rivals. That concern is shared by people in more established professions that their livelihoods are under threat from generative AI technology that can spew out human-like text, images, and code in seconds. Now, over the past few years, there have been high-profile partnerships between luxury brands and virtual influencers, including Kim Kardashian's makeup line KKW Beauty with Nuri and Louis Vuitton with Ayayi. Now, according to Rebecca McGrath, for a brand, they have total control versus a real person who comes with potential controversy, their own demands, and their own opinions. Even though we made it clear that she was an AI-generated model initially, most of her followers didn't question her authenticity, and they genuinely believe in her existence, said Nunes, who added that Atanya has received multiple requests to meet followers in person. AI is continuing to disrupt a lot of things, and as we go more and more into growing technology, this could become more and more of a thing. And as much as human influencers want people to care, they probably don't, because in reality, they're probably just scrolling. They see the virtual influencer and then they see the product, and if they like it, they'll get it. If they don't, they'll keep it moving. So that could be the thing. But then also with these big brands, they probably have had many issues when it comes to working with people. So now that they have these virtual influencers with no issues, of course, they're going to be more aligned with the virtual influencers. And this can also tie into that digital world that they're building out, such as the metaverse or VR or AR. So it's going to get interesting as we go into 2024 to see how things are going to play out when it comes to virtual avatars or influencers or these digital worlds that people might start to become more immersed into versus realities. So that's just something to be on the lookout for as we go into the new year. Moving on to the next article. Amazon plans to make its own hydrogen to power vehicles. Amazon is making plans to produce hydrogen fuel at its fulfillment centers. The retail behemoth partnered with hydrogen company Plug Power to install the first electrolyzer equipment that can split water molecules to produce hydrogen at a fulfillment center in Aurora, Colorado. The electrolyzer will make fuel for around 225 forklift trucks at the site, although Plug says it has the capacity to fuel up to 400 hydrogen fuel cell power forklifts. This is the first time that Amazon has tried to make its own hydrogen on site, and it's not likely to be the last. Hydrogen produces water vapor instead of greenhouse gas emissions during combustion, a trait that's made it more attractive to companies and governments working to meet climate goals. The big problem they need to tackle is cleaning up the process of making hydrogen in the first place. Today, most of it's made using fossil fuels primarily through a reaction between steam and methane, and the process of releasing carbon dioxide and methane leaks are another problem since methane, also called natural gas, is an even more potent greenhouse gas than CO2. So as we go more into this world they're trying to build where it's completely sustainable, it's going to start to look like fossil fuels aren't leaving anytime soon. From my perspective, I think they're going to try to make them cleaner, but as far as completely removing it, that's not going to happen. I can't see that happening within like the next 5 to 10 to maybe even 15 years unless something drastic happens. But they'll continue to innovate and find things to where they can start to replace it with these sustainable measures wind and solar, hydrogen power, nuclear power, all these different things when it comes to the ecosystem of sustainability. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out as we continue to move along in this ever-changing world of integrating technology into society and our everyday lives. Moving on to the next article. Nvidia nerfed its RTX 4090 graphics card for Chinese buyers thanks to US export rules. Nvidia is set to release a low-power version of the GeForce RTX 4090 graphics card specifically for the Chinese market to comply with US export rules, and this RTX 4090D already has a product page on the company's Chinese website, and it boasts fewer CUDA cores than its similarly named cousin. It also features a low power draw of 425 watts instead of 450 watts. This is all due to U.S. export restrictions on high-end computer chips shipped to China and Russia in an attempt to curb both nations from developing technology that could be used in applications like weapons making and surveillance. And these rules were announced back in 2022, but officially put into place this year, leaving manufacturers like Nvidia scrambling to find a solution that met the needs of both Chinese consumers and US regulators. So Nvidia probably wanted to get these products out because they didn't want to let go of their large market share that they have on GPUs. And if you look right here from this article, this infographic shows the generative AI market share of 2023 when it comes to data center GPUs, and Nvidia is at a 92 whopping percent. So they definitely wanted to get those GPUs out for the Chinese market because they didn't want to lose any of that 92%, even though it's a big chunk. They didn't want to lose any of it and let someone else come in and start to gain some of that market share. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, if this is going to have a positive effect on the company or a negative effect on the company. So things are going to get very interesting in the new year. Moving on to the next article. Microsoft's Copilot app is now available on iOS. Just days after introducing a Copilot app on Android, Microsoft has rolled out an app for its AI chatbot on iOS and iPad OS. Both versions of the app are now available to download from the Apple App Store. The app gives you access to Microsoft's Copilot and works similarly to OpenAI's ChatGPT mobile app. In addition to letting you ask questions, draft emails, and summarize text, you can also create images through an integration with the text-to-image generator DALL-E 3. And unlike the free version of ChatGPT, which runs GPT 3.5, Copilot lets you access GPT-4, the latest large language model from OpenAI, without having to pay for a subscription. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, play around with this app, check it out, see what you like about it. I plan to check it out to try to compare it between ChatGPT and Google's Bard and Claude and all those different LLMs that I like to play around with. So it's going to be interesting to see how powerful and useful this app could be. So this was another interesting day of articles, and to continue to stay updated on the things you should know happening in the world of technology, definitely check out these two videos right here. And don't forget to hit the like button on this one.